Welcome to the Turnpike Sports Pro Football Show. I'm Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're going to be here with you each and every week during the NFL season from week 1 all the way through to the Super Bowl. This week, we've got week 2 coming up for us. We actually had a fun week 1. It was a very interesting week 1.
What great games. I wasn't expecting a lot from week 1 because, they didn't have a lot of preseason games.
No.
The starters didn't get a lot of reps in preseason, but my goodness, what a great week 1. And by the way, I want to apologize to the New Orleans Saints fans. I don't think your team is the worst in the league now. I think the Giants and the Dolphins are going to give you a good run. Who's the worst team? So,
well, speaking of week 1, why don't we just do a little recap and find out what happened?
What happened?
Well, we're going to start off here in week 1, recapping what happened with the kickers.
Yeah, boy, the big week for the kickers.
Yes, we had 11 field goals of 50 yards or more in week 1.
It killed the Jets. I killed the Jets.
Yes. By the way,
I honestly thought the Jets were going to win that one.
I don't think so.
No, I guess not.
No, it just was not a good ending for my Jets. Yeah. But Chris Boswell, I will give this credit. The Jets played extremely well, and if you're going to lose a 60-yard field goal, that's a team record for the Steelers.
Okay, there are no moral wins. Stop it.
I was very pleased with that. But we had 11 field goals of 50 or more.
Yep.
This is much less than what we had last year. In week 1, we had 21 field goals made of 50 yards or more.
Can I tell you, there's a new rule with the kicking balls. I think they can bring
balls. Yes.
Kicking balls. Well, I don't know.
They have a K on it. They actually have a K on it.
Yeah, but now there's a new rule. You can bring your own. So there's a theory now that there's going to be longer field goals because the kickers are more comfortable with the ball that they brought. So keep an eye on that this season.
Yeah, and again, we had 10 less.
Okay.
Made in week 1. So maybe there's something different there, but we had our first 60-yarder already in week 1 for the season.
Unbelievable.
Let's talk some quarterbacks.
What happened?
Well, we had a whole bunch of different stats coming out for the quarterbacks. We have Daniel Jones, who is now the starting quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts.
How do you like that, Giants fans? Boy, he looked like Tom Brady last week. My goodness.
5th quarterback since 1950 to have 250 or more passing yards and 2 or more rushing touchdowns in his first game of the season.
By the way, we were joking last week about Daboll being on the hot seat without even a game being played.
He is.
He really is on the hot seat. I mean, if you listen to New York media this week, it's not looking good.
It's getting hotter.
Yeah.
Geno Smith, most passing yards in a Raiders quarterback debut since Dan Pastorini back in 1980. Geno Smith threw for 362. Pastorini threw for 317.
Wow. And by the way, the Patriots fans are not very happy with the performance of the Patriots this week. So.
No, but Drake May also set career highs for attempts, completions, and yardage. So
okay, well, there you go.
Bright spot.
Yeah.
Going back to the game we just referenced for the field goal, Aaron Rodgers tied Tom Brady for the most career games with 4 or more touchdown passes and no interceptions.
Yep.
They both have 28.
Yeah, I was going to say, was that like 28?
Yes.
Right underneath that is Drew Brees.
Yes.
And then I think Peyton Manning. I think I saw that stat.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And last quarterback for the week here, Matthew Stafford tied Matt Ryan as the second fastest player to reach 60,000 career passing yards in NFL history.
I saw that.
Drew Brees did it in 215. Stafford and Matt Ryan both did it in 233 games.
Wow.
So those are, look back on those stats. We're going to talk about us now.
Okay, that's
What happened?
Yeah, I know what happened.
Yes.
You know it's annoying to me. We both went 2-1 with our picks. I could have had 3-0. I missed it by a half a point. I took Denver. I rarely take a big point spread like that. It was 8.5, and Denver won by 8. So
Yes. Can I tell you something?
I'd rather have it blown out than what just happened to me.
Yes. Well, before we get too into crying over our loss there, I was very impressed with how Tennessee played. Tennessee seems to have something. I don't know what they have, but they've got something where they hung tight with Denver.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Maybe Denver just had a bad game. I don't know.
Well, first off, they were getting to the quarterback, and it was just brutal. It was brutal. For a kid who was playing his first game to have that kind of pressure.
Yeah. But the Titans' defense was there. I mean, they were playing very well, just like the Jets outplayed what everybody was expecting. Jet fans right now are so pissed off because they're saying same old Jets already because of the fumble and the kickoff return and that 14-point swing.
Yeah.
I thought for the first time in years I saw some competency in that team. That's a different team. I'm a little shocked at how bad Pittsburgh played in that first half, though.
Yeah.
So, but there was a lot of interesting stuff. We both went 2-1. You know, I was actually looking first off at the Indianapolis game. I wanted to do it, but got to a pick 'em, and you know, we kind of avoid those.
You know, it's one of those things where you were thinking these teams weren't very good. It turned out Miami was terrible. I mean, just absolutely. They're going to have issues with everything in that team this year. So there's going to be a lot of drama. So,
yes.
But good for Daniel Jones, though. Danny Dimes, man.
Danny Dimes.
Wow.
He threw a couple of those, too. So very nice to see him perform in a new place. And, you know, I think the Giants gave up on him too soon, I think, anyway.
Well,
but I think
it wasn't a good place for him. I think
no.
He's going to thrive in Indianapolis. So good for him.
What about the other one they let go? Tommy Cutlets over there? He's
in
in
New England. Yeah.
I didn't see him.
Apparently, by the way, he has a new commercial out, and it's pretty funny. It's that I think it's a insurance commercial. You know when the wife wants to bring in another husband to do the job. You know, oh, my husband isn't getting the roof done right, so let me bring in the backup quarterback, and Tommy Cutlets is one of those backup quarterbacks. He's one of those guys. I don't even know what it's for. I think it's insurance or something like that, but you know, the wife sits her husband and brings in a backup.
Who was the backup? They did this last year too. It was some other backup quarterback that did that. It was actually pretty cool. But
I think there was a couple.
I didn't see the
I don't
Tommy
know what
Cutlets
I don't know what they're selling.
I love his agent saying Tommy Cutlets' trademark is not dead.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they plan. They got the North End up there.
They got the North End,
Federal Hill in Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. I think they're closer to Rhode Island to where they play. Yeah. So you know. We'll see.
Well, that's it for the look back. We're going to be right back with our picks, looking ahead to Week 2 of the NFL season. Turnpike Sports Pro Football Show, back after this.
All right.
Smoked cocktails have never been easier to make, thanks to our Halo Drink Smoker. Simply place the cocktail smoker on your glass, light the wood chips until they start to smoke, and then top it off with the lid to infuse your drink with a delicious, new, smoky flavor.
Hey, Dave Weischadle from Turnpike Sports. I just got my dugout mug delivered, and I am loving it. Dugout mugs are mugs made out of baseball bats, and they are officially licensed by Major League Baseball, so you can get your favorite baseball team's logo on your mug. Just think of it, enjoying your favorite drink while watching your favorite baseball team with your team's logo on your mug made from a baseball bat. They can even make customized mugs. Check out the mug they made for Turnpike Sports. I mean, just look at that. That looks awesome. I've never seen anything like them. If you go to dugoutmugs.com, you'll find out they even make more things than mugs. They have baseball board games, grilling equipment made from baseball bats. They even have a section for gifts for under $30. Head on over to dugoutmugs.com because if you're a baseball fan or need a gift for a baseball fan, you have to check out Dugout Mugs. And use our promo code PIKE at checkout to get 20% off your purchase price. That's promo code PIKE, P-I-K-E. Also, free shipping with orders over $99. You can't beat that. DugoutMugs.com. That's my go-to place if I need a gift for a baseball fan. Well, if you excuse me now, the game is about to go on, and the wind is just right for drinking.
Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024, the Audien Atom 2 series offers superior sound quality and functionality for a fraction of the price. For just $189 a pair, the Atom 2 features 4 different hearing modes for all types of hearing loss. It packs crystal clear sound, a nearly invisible design, and is even rechargeable.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids. They're so comfortable, I forget I'm wearing them. And the sound is amazing.
The Atom Pro 2 is our smallest hearing aid yet, featuring advanced background noise cancellation and is the world's first hearing aid with built-in UV cleaning that kills 99% of bacteria.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed without seeing a doctor or having a hearing test.
Join over 500,000 happy customers today and get the hearing you deserve.
Call 1-800-457-0924 or go to audionhearing.com to get your pair of Audien hearing aids starting at just $189.
Welcome back, everybody. Turnpike Sports Pro Football Show. Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We just finished our look back at Week 1 of the NFL regular season. Here we are in our pick segment where we look ahead to the next week. This is Week 2 of the NFL regular season. Mm-hmm. Once again, we both finished 2-1-0 for the first week of the season.
And by the way, I'm very upset at myself. I missed being 3-0 by half a point.
You had nothing to do with that.
Half a point.
You had nothing to do with that.
If Denver just attempted a field goal in their last drive and throwing it downfield and screwing it up, so
they should have won that by more than that going into that game, thinking about it. But here we are, Week 2. And as always, let me set the ground rules here. We make 3 picks each, 3 games. We do point spreads and totals. See, I didn't see money line this time. Mm-hmm. Point spreads and totals, and we go against each other each and every week. We use early to midweek lines. Again, we're going to be using Caesars Sportsbook. Caesars Sportsbook has a brand new offer. Football is back, and Caesars is game day ready with a great offer for new customers. Place your first bet of $1 or more and instantly get 100% profit boost up to $25 max bet per boost. Register now with our code PIKE20X. It's up on the screen too if you're watching us on TV. Mm-hmm. And you'll be able to get your special sign-up offer when you go to Caesars.com/sportsbook-n-casino. One of the longest websites I have to say on the air. But again, PIKE20X at Caesars Sportsbook for the 2020 100% profit boost. That's the best way to say it. Terms and conditions apply. 21 and older, problem gambling, 800 Gambler. Let's head on over to game number 1. First game of the week for me, the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals right now are favored at 3.5 points. There's an over-under of 48.5. These lines are going to change. I think a lot of these things, and we're doing early week line or midweek lines, I should say, and keep an eye on all these. But both teams come into the game both 1-0. They look both these teams also look more offense than defense right now. I don't know why that is, but the Bengals won a close game against the Browns to start the season off on a very shaky foot.
But look, hey, they won.
Yeah.
Unlike last year when they started off very slow. I think last year they were beaten by the lowly New England Patriots. But at least, they won. So.
Well, if the Bengals get off to a quick start offensively in this game, which is something they are not known for lately, it really could cause Jacksonville a lot of problems. In Week 1, the Jaguars had 2 really long drives, successfully moving the ball, but they ended up with field goals. And in the second half of that game against the Panthers, they only scored 6 points. And Carolina has a much worse defense than Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Cincinnati's defense is much better than that Week 1 opponent that Jacksonville faced. And I don't think the Jags can afford not to score on just about every possession they get a chance on. If Burrow gets into a rhythm, this game will not be like Week 1 for either of these teams. And I'm thinking the Burrow and the Bengals are going to get into that rhythm early. I'm going with Cincinnati and laying the 3.5.
Okay, my first game is the Los Angeles Rams, who are favored by 5.5 points at the Tennessee Titans with an over-under of 41.5. I got to be honest, I thought there was going to be a bigger point spread. I thought the Rams looked solid on both sides of the football. I mean, their defense held C.J. Stroud and the Texans to 9 points. Their offense, I know they only scored 14 points, but, they look pretty good. Nakua having 10 catches for 130 yards and Adams having 4 catches for something like 51. I think they're going to go wild this week, and I think it's going to be another tough week for Cam Ward, who's having some growing pains right now, especially when the defense is in his face like that. He only threw for 112 yards against the Broncos in Week 1, it looks like the Rams defense is kind of similar to the Broncos in strength. So, I'm taking the Rams. I know it's a chalky pick, but I think Cam Ward's going to be a great quarterback, but, I think he's got to learn some things. I think he has to get used to the pro defenses out there, and, I'm sure he's going to take a step forward this week, but I think it's going to be another long week for him. So I'm taking the Rams.
All right, let's head on over to the second game of the week. Second game of the week for me is the Chicago Bears at the Detroit Lions. Detroit is favored by 5.5. There's an over-under of 47 even for this game. This line is definitely going to change. Chicago is coming into this game 0-1 after losing to their other NFC North opponent, the Minnesota Vikings over there. The Bears played well until the fourth quarter, which has raised a lot of questions now about the coaching staff, the new coaching staff, I'm going to say, and the current quarterback that's back there. Everyone played well. Still a lot of things to work out. Neither team comes in on any sort of a hot streak here. Detroit's 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 home games. Chicago, 3-10-1 against the spread in their last 14 Week 2 games. Detroit swept Chicago last season. They split against the line, but they did sweep the season series against Chicago. Lions played a bad matchup for them in Green Bay that first week. And
I won that game. I went with Green Bay, who were unstoppable at home openers for some bizarre reason. It's that Lambeau magic.
But I think right now the Lions are in a better spot against the Bears. I think they match up better. And you got to take into account the Detroit Lions have taken 5 of the last 6 games against the Bears. So I'm going Detroit and laying the 5.5.
All right, my next game is the New England Patriots at the Miami Dolphins, who are 1-point favorites, and the over-under is 43.5. And look, both these teams are not very good right now, and both offenses are really struggling to score. I know the line says Miami Dolphins are favored, but this could really be a pick-em because, like I said, they're not either team aren't playing very good football right now. That's why I'm looking at the total. Look, historically, the Patriots have been bad playing in Miami. I mean, they struggled when Tom Brady was their quarterback, so I'm not looking for them to score very much. Let me throw some stats at you. The Patriots have lost 15 of their last 16 games against teams that have a losing record, and guess what Miami has? I know it's only 0-1, but, let's look at the trends. And each of New England's last 8 September games against AFC opponents have gone under the total points. So who's going to win? I really don't care because I'm looking at the total, and I don't think this is going to reach the 43.5 points that the books put on it. So I'm going with the under in this game.
Well, unfortunately, someone's got to win that game.
Yeah,
but as a Jet fan, I would like both of them to lose.
I know it's one of those things that it'll probably be like a 20-17 game.
You think?
And that could be either one winning. So who cares, really? Let's be honest.
All right, let's head on over to the last game of the week. Final game for me is the Seattle Seahawks traveling to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. Steelers right now are favored by 3. There's an over-under of 40 even. Steelers are getting the home 3 here. Seattle's coming into Pittsburgh 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games overall. They've won 6 straight road games, though, so something to keep in the back of your head here. Yep. The Steelers are 1-5 against the spread over their last 6 games. And let's face it, if it wasn't for a couple Jets mistakes, they would have lost that game, too, in Week 1. They very came close to giving that game away. Like I said, a few mistakes away would have been a totally different thing. We would have had a matchup between winless teams if the Jets had not screwed themselves. Week 1 featured Aaron Rodgers coming back to face his old team from the previous season. This week, it's DK Metcalf's turn to come in to play against his old team. I don't know if Rodgers has another 4-touchdown game in this, but I think it's the defense for the Steelers' turn to step up. I really see the Steelers' defense waking up a little bit more against this team with the Seattle Seahawks. They have to, because if you give them time to move the ball down the field, they do have the capability of doing that. So I think it's time for the Steelers to come up here and step up with their defense, outperform the other team, and I'm going with Pittsburgh and laying the 3.
Okay, my last game is the San Francisco 49ers, who are 3-point favorites at New Orleans Saints with an over-under of 40.5. Let me just give you the overarching theme of my analysis. The New Orleans Saints are one of the worst teams in the league. You can't get around that. And I understand that San Francisco is dealing with some injury issues right now. Brock Purdy might not even play, but I still like San Francisco. The 49ers have won 8 of their last 9 road games following a division win and have covered the spread in 7 of the last 8 road games, also following a division win. The Saints, on the other hand, have lost each of their last 5 games, and not only that, the Saints have failed to cover the spread in 7 of their last 8 Week 2 games. So, I don't care who's playing for San Francisco. I could play for the San Francisco 49ers, and they're still going to beat the New Orleans Saints. So I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers.
All right, those are our 3 games for the week. We'll be right back after this to give a recap and close out the show. Turnpike Sports Pro Football Show. Right back.
Sign up at jackpot.com and you can bet on the world's best lotteries where the biggest jackpots are up for grabs. Powerball, Mega Millions, some of the biggest lotteries can be found at jackpot.com. Simply choose your lotto game, pick your numbers, or use their quick pick feature, and you're done. Sign up at jackpot.com with code DRAW24 and get a free lottery ticket with your first deposit. Jackpot.com, it's the world of lotto in your hand.
Terms and conditions apply. You must be at least 18 years old and in the United States to play. Void where prohibited. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Pro Football Show. Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We just did our 3 picks for the week 2 of the NFL season. Always great to see the NFL in full swing here. We also just had the premiere of Thursday Night Football on Prime Sports, so it's always great seeing all the different wheels clicking and turning for the NFL right now. But we just did our 3 picks, so why don't we go ahead and do a recap for the audience? Go ahead.
Okay, I'm taking the Los Angeles Rams, and I'm laying the 5.5 points against the Tennessee Titans. I'm taking the under 43.5 points in the Patriots-Dolphins game, and I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers and laying the 3 points against the New Orleans Saints.
And for the first time this year, I'm going all favorites. I went with Cincinnati over the Jacksonville Jaguars, laying the 3.5. I went with Detroit over Chicago, laying the 5.5. And then I went with Pittsburgh, laying the 3 against the Seattle Seahawks. As always, check the lines. We are using midweek lines to tape the show. These lines will change. As a matter of fact, I guarantee as soon as I hit stop on this filming, we will see a change in some of these lines. But always check the lines. Always bet responsibly. Bet with your head, not with your heart. And again, just have fun with it.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike. Good luck, everyone.